Is the wee one strapped in with a safety belt of some kind? Does the floaty pod dock in somehow? How do we know Baby Yodes is in there safely?
I have no idea if he wants to eat it or hang it on his wall.
Are there no other options? What if he wanted to raise it to be his green son? Or what if he wanted to study it?
It's not a toy.
Despite one fifth scale Yoda working his way into our hearts, I must stay vigilant and remind you that the sin here is and always will be kids. While yes, this pick up the kid by the scruff like an animal moment serves as a way to gauge Mando's eventual care of the child and the way he holds him differently by the end of the episode, it's still a horrible way to pick up a tiny kid. I mean, what is the point of this arch? Is it for show? Do people just walk under it because they can? Obviously don't need to. And it doesn't look secure. Show reenacts my experience after eating baked goods at Coachella.
Easy with that.
You take it easy.
Mando doesn't respond with "stop copying me." Mando's Beskar boner is so powerful that he completely forgets that he kidnapped a child.
Such a large bounty for such a small package.
Such an odd thing to say when he's about to get snippy when Mando asks a question. Don't start small talk if you don't want small talk.
Unfortunately, finding a Mandalorian in these trying times is more difficult than finding the steel.
I find this really hard to believe. Mando straight up walks back to the Mandalorian den and reappears with super fancy armor. Anyone paying attention would be able to make the assumption that there are other Mandalorians not only out there, but nearby. Since the other Mandalorians can't go out and play, the writers have them all just milling about and fiddling with their armor, instead of enriching themselves with a game of strategy like Risk or Pass the Pigs. These envious Mandalorians showing up to the yard at the first hint of Mando's milkshake. I mean, Beskar.
How can one be a coward if one chooses this way of life?
So true! Imagine choosing a life where you can only use 10% of your field of vision by choice. Truly badass. Stop trying to convince me otherwise. Yes, I know some say it's ridiculous and should cripple any battle advantage, but stop it. It means they're brave.
This is the way.
But forget understanding any of the ways that the way is the way. I know I'm supposed to watch and enjoy and turn off my questioning mind, but I really wish I understood their code better. Is it the same as the guild code that Mando breaks to steal the kid in a moment? Why are there no apparent consequences for a fellow Lorian when he tries to rip off Mando's helmet? How do you choose the various options of armor add-ons? And is there a build your armor character creation screen?
Since you forego a signet, I shall use the excess to forge whistling birds.
Then honestly, why would anyone opt in for a signet when a sweet, sweet weapon like whistling birds is a choice?
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. One would expect this hammer-banging flashbacks position to provide some armor explanations. Instead, we get some backstory delivered completely out of context. Do you think it's a requirement to have a flashback to war trauma while the armor is cooked? And if so, why would anyone sit through this? I mean, why not get in and hide with your kid? But how did the robot without little digits on his hand actually open the door?
You had your shot, dust breather, but you failed.
That's respiracist? Using this walking into a saloon trope to remind us that this show isn't drawing inspiration from the Wild West so much as it's drawing inspiration from stereotypical movies about the Wild West. While we all love Mando's new shiny metal ass, walking in with your Beskar hanging out is about as subtle as a Tesla Cybertruck. And this level of bling seems to betray Mando's generally stoic demeanor.
Take some time off. Enjoy yourself.
Presuming you know when someone needs time off, which is especially concerning when you can't even read the person's expression to understand their state of mind. You're talking to a wall of armor. Stop telling it what to do. Also, considering Grief just told Mando that the entire place hates his guts, why would Mando want to stick around? Mando doesn't finish threading his shift knob onto the shaft. Acting as if you can do anything covertly when you've got this much shine. Staring at your dead comrade long enough to become dead yourself. Glad to see we're still sticking with shooting the control panel not only disables the lock, but also opens the door cliches. The medical guy looks up and sees that Mando has now removed baby greens from the medical device. I will never understand the level of confidence needed to do this without fear of harming the little one even more. You don't yank people off hospital beds. Mando's going back through this facility the long way? If the room he needed to get to was right by the outer wall, why not blast Puck through this outer wall in GTFO? I can see how Mando's helmet wasn't a disadvantage in this situation because every one of these idiots has one on. But the cape and sniper rifle on his back should have been detrimental during these close quarters fights. What kind of example does this set for the kids? I guess suddenly no one in the bad guy block seems to care about the kids surviving any longer. Do the stormtroopers know they're terrible at aiming, so they shoot badly but confidently, therefore avoiding killing the child, but also appearing as though they're defending their hideout? We now know that these whistling birds are rare, but why are they rare when they f***ing rule? If it's about the rarity of the metal, why not find a way to make them with other metals? And if they are so rare, why have an entire gauntlet designed to contain them only once every so often? Oddly, none of the explosions and gunfire brought any curious onlookers to the building. Earlier it was said that everyone had a tracking fob for the bounty on my Yoda from another mother, but they all kept the tracking fobs even after they found out Mando had already collected the bounty? Sure, some people are slow to throw things out, but the show wants us to believe that every last one of these ultra-absorbent assholes kept the thing, and that it's still active after the bounty was completed?
Because I'm your only hope.
This just seems like a weird time for a callback to Princess Leia's message to Obi-Wan. Or is it not weird, and the two moments are somehow connected? Well, either way, I was enjoying the show before that line, and now instead of enjoying the show, I'm thinking about possible reasons why Grief Karg is being a fanboy right now. Child endangerment. Turning and running away in shame after realizing you brought an axe to a blaster fight.
Drive!
Backseat drivers. Exposing your tuning fork. Mando should know that when you realize your blaster's in drop D while the rest of the firefight is in standard tuning, just take those shots a full step higher and get through it.
That's one impressive weapon.
A gun that vapes people? Yeah. Seems that the bullets for this weapon should be rarer than whistling birds, but no. In an interesting attempt to jump from the DCEU to the MCU, it looks like Mantis accidentally landed in the Star Wars canon. Did all the Mando people get the same ping message about Mando's sudden decision to go back on his bounty and take the kid? How did they know to show up? Okay, Disney, take all of my money. All of it.
You're going to have to relocate the covert.
Telling someone the reason why they shouldn't be helping you while they are helping you. Also, I'm pretty confident the whole Mandalorian group would have had a hard time hiding anyway. Mando got paid in Beskar, walked it through the street, and sauntered into their covert without any attempt at being sneaky, so anyone could go down the stairs and peek at the people. Wow. Grief boldly enters the ship with a gun aimed directly at Mando, yet somehow misses him even though he's now a slightly obscured, shiny, big guy standing in steam. Imagine being this horrible at aiming and choosing to face off with Mando one-on-one. Idiot. Speaking of steam, there's a button on the ship that makes it pour out like this for why? Oh, good grief. Karga didn't die because of his Beskar plot armor.
I gotta get one of those.
Why? It's not like you're going to use it properly. Giving a metal ball to a child.
I have fought my way here to the castle beyond the Goblin City to take back the child that you have stolen.
Welcome to Space the Infinite Frontier. We've got a great show lined up for you.
Such a large bounty for such a small package.
Size matters not.
Have you ever removed your helmet?
Well, actually, that's none of your business, Christy.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Are you sure?
No matter what, you got to strap.
How do I look?
Like a hood ornament.
How do I know I can trust you?
Because
Got more flows than Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.